Hei, velkommen til Internasjonal dag ved Noroff Fagskole. Denne dagen skulle vi veldig gjerne likt å ha fysisk, med en rundtur på alle campusene, og ikke minst invitert alle dere nettstudenter inn. På grunn av pandemien så får vi ikke gjort det, vi får se hva vi kan få gjort litt lenger ut i dette semesteret også. Men i dag så skal dere få møte noen av partneruniversitetene våre. De kommer jevnt hver time gjennom dagen. Og først ut er University of South Wales. Før vi slipper de til, så skal vi ta og vise en liten film fra South Wales. Så kjør!
I love Wales as a country. There's a lot you can learn when you come here, when you see the kind of culture that we have. I guess people don't really expect us to have a city like Cardiff that thrives as much as it does. There's a lot more going on in Wales than people originally see.
Coming to uni here, you make so many friends from all over and they're your friends for life. Getting here is really easy. Coming from somewhere like London, you can just get on one train. You can then get the train up to Pontypridd, go straight to Newport. It's a 5-minute walk to get to the university from the train station in Newport.
With this new university, the University of South Wales, it's great. Like, you have so many resources.
Wales is a massive hub for sport. All of the streets are lined with red and people get really passionate about rugby, and when we win, it's an amazing place to be, it really is. People are very, very proud to be Welsh.
Peidiwch â phoeni, mae pawb yn siarad Saesneg, ond fedrwch chi ddysgu bach o Gymraeg fel dim problem.
Cardiff's just one of the coolest cities ever. And it's just lush. You can just get on a train or a bus and you can go into the middle of nowhere, you can go rafting, you can go climbing up the mountains, or you can go west and you can go surfing. I mean, it's got a little bit of everything, really.
You can travel to the big cities like Cardiff, and you've got the great landscapes like the Gower, great beaches around here. The Brecon beacons are stunning as well, so it's a really good place to be.
One of my reasons to come to UK was to get a British degree, which is a stamp of quality. I found so many friends here from all over the world. Everyone's helpful, everyone's supportive, and after some time you just realize that you feel at home.
The University of South Wales to me is this life-changing experience which I wouldn't swap for anything.
We are here. Will you be?
Ok. Underveis i webinaret så kan dere sende inn spørsmål. Vi har satt opp en e-post som dere kan sende inn til. Den skal komme opp i grafikken her. I tillegg til det så sitter studentrådsleder Niklas Frogner klar på Teams. Så hvis dere søker opp Niklas Frogner på Teams, så kan dere chatte direkte med han. Eller så er det også YouTube-chat. Det som kommer inn der er det litt grann delay på, så da samler vi litt opp til slutten og får forsøkt også å svare dere opp der. Presentasjonen nå er en 20-25 minutter lang fra South Wales, og så tar vi en Q&A på slutten. Med oss i dag har vi Sally Fairburn fra University of South Wales, og så har vi også 2 tidligere Noroff-studenter som nå går på South Wales. Det er Roar Aamodt og Erik Moen. Og så bytter vi til engelsk, for ordens skyld. Hi, Sally.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Very forward to chatting to our prospective Noroff students.
Good, welcome. I know they've been eager to hear from you. You have a presentation, so I thought I was just going to leave the screen to you.
Okay, brilliant. So I'll share my screen. I'll give an introduction to myself, and then if you don't mind sharing the video, and then I'll go into my presentation. Is that okay?
The video just played, so just go straight into the just go straight into the presentation.
Lovely. Okay, thank you. So
Thank you.
I'll just share my screen with you. So welcome everyone. It's really an honour to be here with you today, and to have this opportunity to present to you. My name is Sally Fairburn. As you know, I'm an international officer here at the University of South Wales. I've worked here since 2006, so I'm a veteran. I also studied here, actually. I did my BA Business Management here part-time while I was working full-time. So I do have experience of being a member of staff as well as a student. So I'm going to give you an overview of the university and the partnership agreement that we have here between the University of South Wales and Noroff. And then at the end of this presentation, you'll have that opportunity to ask any questions that you may have to Eric and Roar, who are our current students from Norway as well. So I know sometimes Norwegian students are a little bit shy in speaking in English in sessions like this. So if you would rather speak Norwegian, I really don't mind. Please don't worry about that. Okay, so we've done the location. Okay. So why should you study at the University of South Wales? Well, we are one of the largest universities in the UK. We have around 26,000 students, and of those 26,000 students, around 4,500 are international. So what that means for you is actually you are guaranteed to have an international experience, mixing with other cultures, other nationalities. I think we had around 50 Norwegian students enroll with us in September 21. So it's a good number, but it's not too many that you're going to be immersed only with Norwegian students. And I'm sure Eric and Roar will talk to you about this, but it is about making the most of your time here and engaging with other students of other nationalities as well. We do offer generous scholarships here for our Norwegian students. So you would have heard of this crazy little thing called Brexit that's happened in the last couple of years. And what that has meant is, unfortunately, Norwegian students are now required to apply for a visa to study in the UK. And what we've done is actually increased your scholarship to £2,500 per year to compensate for those visa application fees that you're having to pay for. So hopefully that goes to help you with the affordability of studying in the UK. Also, it does offer very good value for money studying in South Wales. I've been to Norway once, and I think anywhere offers very good value for money compared to Norway, to be honest. But typically, if you were to budget between £650 and £700 per month for everything, that would be a nice lifestyle for you. You wouldn't be eating baked beans on toast every day. You would be able to go out with your friends for dinner a few times a week, and you would be able to go to the cinema, go shopping. It obviously does depend on your lifestyle, but that would be a comfortable budget for you to have a good lifestyle here in South Wales. There are opportunities to get placements, internships. We have a careers centre here. So with the courses that we have, not all of them have a guaranteed placement, but that's not to say that you can't get one. It is about you networking as soon as you get here, making those connections, those contacts within the industry, using your lecturers and their contacts, and try to get those internships, because by doing that, you're increasing your chances once you graduate to get that dream job that you're looking for. So why I study in South Wales. Well, you've seen the video and hopefully it's given you a lot of food for thought about what life for you might be like here. It is very green here, very mountainous, but also you've got the benefit of having the capital city of Cardiff right on your doorstep as well. So we do have 3 different campuses. One is in Cardiff City, one is in Newport, and one is here where I am in Pontypridd. And they're all about 25 minutes from each other by train, but you don't need to travel between campuses if you don't want to. Everything you need for your subject area will be on your campus. There are beautiful beaches close by as well, so if you're into surfing or you perhaps want to learn to surf, maybe do some paddle boarding, bodyboarding, the university offers excursions out as well, but it's just literally 40 minutes on the train and you're in the beach. But you've also got so much history here as well, with castles and museums that are free for you to go into as well. And then you've really got great transport links. So the train station is actually only 5 minutes from each of our campuses walking, but also you've got great bus connections, and London is only 2 hours away by train. So London is a great city to be a tourist in, but it is a very expensive city. If you imagine being a student in London, you're looking at double the living costs per month. So the fact that you're only 2 hours away means that you can go there for the day or the weekend and be a tourist and enjoy those sites without having the huge expense of living there. Finally, if you're into sports, then you have got a great place to be in Wales with football and rugby. We've got ice hockey stadium. With the Winter Olympics, I think I'm right in saying Norway knocked the UK out of the curling, so congratulations to you. But there's lots of different sporting activities happening. We've just started the Six Nations rugby, and not only are the students really excited to get involved and go and have tickets to go and view those matches, but also a lot of our students will actually get part-time jobs in working in the Principality Stadium in hospitality, so they're able to enjoy that atmosphere in the build up to the game. It's really a great experience once there's matches happening in the city. And music concerts as well. So I've been lucky enough to see Pink, Coldplay, I can't even think of so long ago due to COVID, but there's lots of wonderful bands to view in Cardiff as well. So this is the Cardiff campus. You can see it is very modern. It is right in the heart of the city centre. And what we have with Noroff is an agreement that was signed only in December 2021. So it's very recent, the renewal partnership with Noroff. But the renewal was done in December. And students are eligible to apply at this campus. So I'm just going to check my list now. If you've completed a 2-year 3D animation diploma at Noroff, you're eligible to apply for the 3rd year of computer games design or game art. And if you've done a 2-year music diploma, you can apply for the 3rd year of popular and commercial music, music producing, sound business or creative industries, popular music technology. And then if you've completed a 2-year award in visual effects, you can apply for year 3 of visual effects and motion graphics. So they're all taught here at the Cardiff campus. It's a really great campus in the fact that you get so many different people from all walks of life. For me, I'm very boring. I have a business background. People here are very unique. It's good to be unique. They've got different colour hairs and different fashion style, and it's really great to see everybody integrating with their unique personalities as well. You've got everything you need here, from coffee shops and restaurants. You've got your library. However, it's not just a normal library given creative industries faculty. It's a library that also hires out media and video equipment as well. We've got dance studios there, you've got green screens, theatres, music sessions happening in there. It's a very, very well equipped campus. And just behind it, you have a train station. So again, really great connection should you need to get anywhere. If you were to walk down the road here just for 3 minutes, you would come straight into the centre of the city with John Lewis and your big department stores and shopping malls, your clubs, pubs, theatres, bars, restaurants. And then just across the road, there is a student accommodation block. However, there are many student accommodation blocks in and around the city, or you've got the option of living in a private house with other students, so you'd have your own bedroom in there. And I'll talk to you more about the accommodation as we go on. So this is a list of the subject areas that we teach within that faculty. Some of the subjects would require a portfolio from our students, and I can send Heidi the portfolio guidelines so that she can share that with you should you need it, just to have some reassurance of what we're looking for when you submit your portfolio link. So Cardiff is a very multicultural city. It's very safe. There are 2 other universities in the city, so it is a city very geared up for having international students in it. There's lots of parks, so whether you're into doing your park runs, barbecues with your friends, just having a picnic, maybe just sitting under a tree in the summer and reading a book, there's so many green spaces for you to enjoy that outdoor activity as well. And then you've got the Pontypridd campus. So this is where I am right now, and this is where Eric and Raw study as well. So you can see it is very different to the Cardiff campus. It's more spread out. We offer more subject areas here, and it's in a more greener setting. Now, with the agreement that we have with Noroff, students who have completed a 2-year network in IT security diploma will have the option of applying onto the 3rd and final year of any of these 4 courses. So you've got the option of computer security, applied cybersecurity, computer forensics, or computing. And let me just check. And then obviously, once you've got your bachelor's degree with honours, you do have the option, if you want to go on and study a master's programme. And if you do that, then we would give you a £6,000 scholarship as an alumni and returning student to continue your studies. So we'll talk more about fees and scholarships shortly. So on this campus, you've got your halls of residence right at the top here. This is where Raw is living. You have over 1,200 rooms here, all ensuite facilities, all have their own mini fridge as well. And then you'll have 5 or 6 students in one flat sharing a kitchen and living area. You've also got the gym and the sports centre here as well. I always say you don't necessarily need to join the gym to get fit by being on this campus, because it is a bit of a hill to walk up to your accommodation here. So you are going to get fit. But just to give you an idea, if you were down here at the bottom and you needed to walk to the top, it's going to take you probably between 7 and 10 minutes, depending on how fast you walk. So everything is very walkable. You don't need a car or a bike on this campus. It is all walkable. Now, you've also got your Students' Union here, and inside you've got a nightclub, a couple of bars, a pub, a convenience store, a hairdressers, cafes, kind of chill out areas with pool tables. So it's a nice area for you to go and relax and get a change of scenery. You've also got the library here. It's a really beautiful library in the fact that when you're up here on the top floor and you're looking out, you can see these beautiful mountains in front of you. It is open 24 hours a day during term time. And here you've also got Stilts restaurant that opens all through the day, serving hot and cold meals. And there's also a Starbucks restaurant, although there are other coffee shops in and around the campus as well. You've also got your Aerospace Engineering Centre here, and you can see there's lots of private accommodation in the local area, and Eric lives in a private house with his friends, and they'll be able to talk to you about that experience at the end of this session. And the train station is just a 5-minute walk away, and it is 25 minutes to get to Cardiff city centre. Pontypridd is a town. It has everything you need. It's a high street with banks and supermarkets, and there's some clothes shops and Boots and Superdrug. But if you wanted that bigger shopping experience, you would go to Cardiff, and it gives you more variety. But you know, everything is on your doorstep basically. So these are the subject areas that we teach within that campus. We also teach some of lab-based courses like biology, chemistry, forensics, police sciences, nursing, over on a separate site on that campus. But you're going to be mainly interested in the computing courses that we have there. So Pontypridd, like I said, it is a town. It has an outdoor Lido, a swimming pool as well, and a really nice park. And again, really easy to get to the city centre. If you're into your sport, we do have a sports park just up the road from that campus, and we've invested a lot of money. We have excellent facilities as well as excellent sporting degrees. But if you're into sport, you want to maybe try out for the university team, maybe try a new sport that you haven't experienced before, then this is a really good chance for you to do that. So whether it's just a hobby or maybe you're a little bit more professional and you want to try out for the team, then that's completely up to you. Okay, so we have a welcome service. We understand that for some of our students, it's the first time leaving their country. It might even be the first time leaving their hometown, some of them. So what we want to make sure is that you are familiar with the logistics on how you're going to get from Norway to the University of South Wales. And we have a welcome service where if you arrive into Cardiff International Airport, we'll pick you up free of charge in a taxi and we'll take you directly to your accommodation. It may mean that you have a change of flights to actually arrive into Heathrow. Maybe you go to Dublin and then Cardiff. So it might be a little bit more of an inconvenience. It might be a bit more expensive. But the fact that you're being picked up in a taxi to take you directly to your accommodation is a big bonus, I would say. However, it is fairly easy to get from Heathrow to South Wales as well. It's literally 2.5 hours on a bus, 3 hours maximum, depending on how many stops there are. But we have a meet and greet service where a university representative will meet you through the arrivals lounge, make sure you're okay, and explain to you how you're going to get to your accommodation and get the tickets that you need. We also have International Welcome Week, and this is a programme that starts the week before enrolment. It's not compulsory, it's non-academic, but it is a great chance for you to settle into the UK, get to meet new friends, get to know the local area. And the activities that we have within this Welcome Week, most of them are free. For the ones that you do charge, it's maybe a couple of pounds just to cover a bus, for example, if you're going on a journey. But yeah, it's a really great opportunity to get to know people. So when you get to enrolment week, you already know that you're going to be knowing so many people in that enrolment queue because you've engaged within International Welcome Week. We have different support services as well. We have health centre here on the Pontypridd campus, although there are doctors' surgeries in and around the areas of all of our campuses, so it is advisable that you register. One thing you might not be aware of actually is as an international student with a visa, you will be required to pay the NHS surcharge, which means that you'll get free medical assistance here in the UK should you need it whilst you're a student. Now, What that means is if you go to your doctor's surgery, if you need any hospital treatment, it's all free. However, in England, if you needed any medication, a prescription, you would have to pay a sum of money for each item on that prescription. Now, I'm English. I haven't lived in England since 2004, but when I was there, it was about £8 per item if I needed a prescription. However, in Wales, it's completely free. No matter how many items you need of medication, you don't pay for your prescription at all. So that's the bonus of living in Wales. You've also got disability and dyslexia service. So should you need any additional support, please tick that box on your application form so that we can investigate what support you need and how we're going to assist you. You also have a student mentoring system. So if you were to go onto our website and search for UniBuddy, you can choose a student to chat to. You can choose the nationality. You might do on the course they're studying, choose them depending on what course, and it's a great way for you to get a student's perspective of what it's like to study here. And should you be interested in a role like that when you're here with us, we actually pay our students to engage with that service to prospective students, so you could get a job doing that if you wanted to also. So we have different support services and study skills workshops. So if you weren't quite sure how to do Harvard referencing, or perhaps you had a job interview coming up and you needed some mock interview training, or you needed some help writing a CV, we have different drop-in services for you to utilise as well. And each campus has its own advice zone. So an advice zone is like a one-stop shop where students go with any query that they have, and the person on that desk will aim to help you. But if they can't help you or answer your question, they'll tell you where you do need to go to get resolution to that. So it's to try and save you being passed from pillar to post, but try and get you that answer as quickly as possible. This is the Students' Union that we have here on the Treforest campus. There's a convenience shop here underneath. There's pool tables and beanbags and relaxing areas here. You've got hairdressers in there, a nightclub, a pub, bars, coffee shops, beer garden. So it is a really nice area, and you can see inside the nightclub. Unfortunately, it's not been like that for quite some time due to COVID, but things are definitely opening up for sporting events now. There is no maximum number of people that can gather, so things are definitely moving in the right direction here. So just some more images of inside. So if you wanted to work whilst you're a student here in the UK, you are allowed to. You can work up to 20 hours a week part-time during the term, and then during the holidays you can work as many hours as you like. Yeah, there's no restrictions. So we have a career centre and that can help you look for part-time work as well if you need that. So accommodation, you've got two options. On-campus accommodation looks like this. This is one of the larger rooms. It's very beautiful. It has a lot of storage, and you've got your own ensuite bathroom as well. The cost of that will start from £100 per week, maybe go up to around 130, depending on the size of the room that you choose. And then you'll have 5 or 6 students in a flat, and they will be having shared access to a kitchen and living area, where you have like kettle, toaster, microwave, ironing board, all provided for you. So it is a self-catering option. You have the option of cooking your own food or eating in restaurants on or off campus, or getting takeaways. There is an app that you can use to top up, and you can use it within the coffee shops and restaurants on campus. And each time you use that app, you get points back, and then you exchange those for free food. And all your utilities would be included, so your water and electric as well. And then as a student, you get free internet access anyway across the university. The other option you've got is off-campus accommodation, and there's two types. You've got your purpose-built student accommodation blocks that will have rooms very similar to what I've just shown you. They will be a little bit more expensive. In Cardiff, you are probably looking at around £130 a week. However, if you wanted a more budget-friendly option, you've got shared housing, like Eric does. So he shares a house with his friends where he'll have his own bedroom, but it's likely to be a shared kitchen, bathroom and living area. And I would guess that this probably costs between about £60 and £80 a week, depending on the house or the size of the room that you've got. And you might need to budget then maybe £10 a week for utilities as well. But there's a lot of housing available in the local areas to our campuses, all within walking distance of the university. So fees and scholarships for September 2022. For our undergraduate programs, we're here looking on the left-hand side. So if you're interested in any of our creative courses at the Cardiff campus, then you're looking at a tuition fee of £13,700 per year. So you would have just that final year to pay for. However, as a Norwegian student, you would have a scholarship of £2,500, which means you're paying £11,200 for your undergraduate final year to study here in the UK. If you're looking for a computing course, it's a little bit more expensive, coming under the STEM area at £14,000. However, with your £2,500 scholarship, you're looking at paying £11,500 for that final year. So you can see here the Chancellor's International Development Scholarship. That is what you qualify for, of £2,500. And then what you've got the option of doing, it's a little bit different actually for Norwegian students. This is a generic presentation that's you don't have to pay 50% of your fees. So what happens is the majority of our Norwegian students will actually be getting the, excuse my pronunciation, but the Lånekassen loan. And what you will need to do is provide a preliminary statement to say that you're having this loan. Your deposit of 50%. So you don't need to pay that deposit. And then once you get to the university and you've got your loan, that's when you would make your payment of your fees. Now, we had a situation in September where loans were a little bit delayed. Students weren't able to pay maybe until December or January, and that wasn't an issue. As long as you are in communication with the finance department and explain the situation that you're in, they won't hassle you and send you debt chasing emails. You just need to stay in touch with them. If you're having a delay with your loan, just let them know, let me know, and we can make sure that something is put on your record to make sure that you aren't chased. So that was the end of my presentation. I welcome any questions that you may have, or if you want to ask any questions to Eric or Roar in English or Norwegian, then please be our guests.
Okay, so thank you, Sally. We've received quite a few questions from a number of students on all three channels. And the first one is from Daniel, asking about applied cybersecurity. So you as you said, the arrangement between Noroff and South Wales has been renewed, and then applied cybersecurity is now in the agreement. So if you have completed the 2 years of network and IT security at Noroff, you are eligible for application into third year on applied cybersecurity. Yeah?
Yes, you are.
Good. I think that makes quite a few people happy. Then there was a question from Maria asking, how about grown-up people with, or grown-up students with children and families? what's the opportunities for people to, or for students to come over and bring their spouses and or kids, into access to international school, off-campus or on-campus housing and things like that. What's the arrangements for that for international students?
So it does happen. To be honest, it doesn't really happen with our Norwegian students. They tend to come on their own. However, I also manage recruitment for Sri Lanka, and it happens a lot. They bring their family. So you would need to apply for a dependence visa. We have an immigration team here that can advise you and help you with that process. But yeah, as a dependent coming over with children, you've got your children, they would be eligible to go to school for free in the local area as well. Or like I say, you've got the option of an international school if you want to pay fees for that. There wouldn't be no housing available on campus for families. It would be the option of you looking for a house in the area, a private house rather than halls of residence. If you've got a family, you're probably looking to rent a whole house to yourself rather than a shared house with other people, I would guess. But we have an accommodation team that can help you with that also. But yeah, it's something that is done a lot with our international students. And talking of visas as well, it is a new experience for Norwegian students to apply for a visa. But please don't be daunted by this. You are a low-risk country. We've not had any Norwegian students that have been rejected for a visa. But if you are unsure about the process, then you can contact myself or our immigration team, who will assess your documents before you send them off. But it's simple things like once you've provided your preliminary statement to show that you're getting the loan, that's when we provide you with a CAS. And like Eric was saying to me, we didn't know what a CAS was. What do we do with a CAS? And a CAS is a letter that you need in order to apply for your visa. But there's lots of information that we can send you on the website. And we would rather you ask us 1,000 questions and you get it right than no questions and you guess and you get a visa rejection. So please don't think that any question is any bother. We would rather you ask us than not ask us.
Okay, fantastic, because that's some of the questions is how, or can we get some help if we're stuck in the visa process, or any way of vetting the documents that's being sent in, so there's no delay on this.
Yeah, and one bit of advice I would give you is because it was a new process in September for our Norwegian students, there was at least one incident, I don't think there were two, but at least one, where Norwegian students didn't have their visa yet, but because they were Norwegian, they could enter the country without a visa. But by doing that, that cancels their student visa. So they had to leave the country again to go back and then enter again on a student visa. So please don't travel until you've got your student visa.
Okay, good tip, good tip. I see the clock is running as well, so we have a few more questions and some for the guys that's joined as students as well. But just to wrap up on the visa thing, can other nationalities than Norwegians get a visa? So let's say if you're not a Norwegian national, but you live in Norway, you study in Norway, you speak Norwegian, and you completed the 2 years with us. Do you know anything about the visa rules there, if they're eligible to come over?
Yeah, I mean, we can accept any nationality or consider any nationality. So yeah, just send your application in. If there's any questions on visas at all, just let us know and we'll help you.
Okay, thank you. I have a question on the difference between computer security and applied cybersecurity. So maybe a request then for a different time for the students that want to do that, if we could set up maybe a team session or a Zoom session with a group of students that wants to drill a little bit more down into the subjects, and maybe on your side you could bring some of the academics in and they can have a
Definitely, we'd be more than happy to arrange that.
That's fantastic, thank you. And then for Erik and Roar, you guys are students now. What are what are you studying? What program are you on?
I'm on a forensic in South Wales.
Yeah.
I went actually 2 years on security on Noroff. But I think I am the only one from Norway on forensic, and there's another girl in another group.
Okay.
I think.
And Erik?
So if
I'm from Noroff, Kristiansand.
Yep.
Got 2 years at NIS, Network and IT Security.
Yep.
And I go computer security here in Treforest campus.
There you go. Thank you. One of the questions is obviously how was the application process? Are you enjoying it? You guys have been there during rounds of lockdown or at least restrictions. How are you guys doing?
Honestly, the application process was kind of tiresome. It was kind of long, and since we were the first one to actually do that process, there is not the school didn't know a lot of this, but I talked a lot to Sally actually. Helped me along the way, so it was fine.
Do you have any pro tips for the ones that's gonna initiate their application rounds now?
As soon as you get the diploma from Noroff, just send it to University of South Wales, because that's the start of the process. They kind of want the diploma and everything from Noroff, so they can start the CAS process. And as long as that is fine, then the visa, I applied for it, and I got a few days later, I got it accepted, and everything was fine.
Okay. Good.
I guess the other thing just to note is with the diploma, we look for a C grade average, but we normally look for IELTS 6 with 5.5 overall. But if you've studied the Vietnamal and you have a grade 3 in English or higher, then we can waive your IELTS for you. There's no need to take it. If you don't have that grade 3, and you don't want to take IELTS, we can always arrange an English placement test at Noroff for you, free of charge.
That's a fair point. That's the English test for the ones that don't necessarily have an English grade on their diploma from high school, not at Noroff. So if you have, we are able to host that test for you at Noroff at one of our campuses if need be.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Where are you guys living? Roar and Erik, are you living on campus or off campus?
I'm on campus, so I'm in the mountain halls, the good ones. My recommendation straight away: do not apply for Glamour. Just get mountain halls, and get the big rooms. Like the small rooms, they are in this one. It's like they have an issue with air, so they need to constantly air out because it's like a small. You just have exactly what you need. Like I have decent space here.
Yeah.
Getting through the hall all the way up there. So I would recommend if you're gonna have accommodation on campus, I recommend you need to have the CAS in order, and you need to have the preliminary statement that you can just get from Lånekassen just right away, and it's really easy. You need to have those because, one of the regrets I heard from a lot of people is that they are stuck in Glamour Court, and there's definitely a difference in quality.
Okay.
There's a difference in price as well, isn't there?
I would say it's worth it.
A little bit more, but it sounds like it's worth it.
Like everyone in my flat that I have the small rooms regret they didn't pick the premium one. So that's my biggest advice on accommodation here. Pick the premium in mountain halls.
Yeah, I see we are running a little bit out of time, and we got plenty of more questions coming in. So Sally and Erik and Roar, would you be able to answer some of these questions in writing afterwards? We'll forward them to you, and we'll share them again with the students that are asking.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining and for presenting today. Hopefully next time, Sally, you'll be able to physically come across and say hi to all the students. And who knows, maybe we're able to do something during this semester even to see. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for presenting, and we'll see you soon.
Take care. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Hei og velkommen til Internasjonal dag hos Noroff Fagskole. Ideelt sett skulle vi hatt denne fysisk, med gjester til stede på alle 4 campuser, og ikke minst invitert alle dere nedstudenter inn til campusene. Men på grunn av pandemien så blir vi nødt til å gjøre dette digitalt også i år. Vi skal forsøke å få til noe litt mer gjennom semesteret. Kanskje er vi heldige så får vi litt besøk utover våren. Med oss i dag så har vi noen gjester. Underveis i presentasjonen deres så kan dere sende inn spørsmål. Vi tar imot spørsmål på YouTube livechat underveis. Samtidig så har vi en e-post som satt opp, som skal komme i grafikken under her. Den bemannet av de som sitter i rommet her sammen med meg. Og Niklas Frogner, som studentrådsleder i Noroff, også her, og han kan dere finne direkte på Teams. Niklas Frogner det, og hvis dere søker han opp, så får dere stilt spørsmål direkte til han. Nå blir det en liten presentasjon som går i 20-30 minutter, og så har vi siste delen til en Q&A. Så alle spørsmålene deres de samler vi opp og blir stilt helt avslutningsvis. Og de spørsmålene som ikke blir besvart i dag, de samler vi opp og sender over skriftlig til partnerne våre, og så de blir besvart likevel. Okay, da bytter jeg til engelsk. Welcome. Those of you on with me today, I have Robert Burton, who's Dean of Faculty. I also have Amy, which is from the academic side, and we have Sara, which is a current student over there. Welcome. Yeah, so you guys have prepared some presentation materials. So I think I'm just gonna hand over the screen to you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep, that's wonderful. Thank you, and hi everyone. Welcome to Teesside University. My name is Robert Burton. I'm the Associate Dean International in the School of Art and Design, which we call MEMA School of Art and Design, and you'll find out in a minute when we go through the presentation. So I'm going to tell you a bit more about the school. Hand over to Amy, who will tell you about the course. Amy is academic, and she's currently studying her PhD as well. She might be able to tell you a bit about that in the meantime. And then Sarah, who was a student at Noroff, came and from her HND, topped up to a BA, and now she's studying on the MA Visual Communication course. Now she might be able to talk in Norwegian, because I don't speak Norwegian at all. I speak a Yorkshire English version of English, so hopefully you'll understand me. It'll have a bit of that kind of Viking twang in it, I'm sure, because of the Yorkshire accent. But I will send the presentation afterwards as well, so you can share it with the students. So I'll just share my screen and you should then see. Bear with me. And so if we just go back. So welcome, I've already said. My name is Robert Burton, Associate Dean. This is academic, but I'm international. And shall I play a short video, tells you more about the school by the Dean, and it has some of the studios and the student work in it.
MEMA School of Art and Design was invented as a project to rethink what an art and design education could be for the 21st century. We wanted to create something that was unique and different, and had the gallery and museum as a creative hub for a group of students studying a whole range of different courses, but a place where they could come together and make something really interesting and really different happen. MEMA School of Art and Design is built with some key principles. One of those is that we produce a full art and design experience for our students, in the sense that we have phenomenal labs, technical resources, technicians, beautiful studio spaces.
The facilities in Myanmar's school of art and designs are incredible. The university has really helped me with my career, so they have visiting speakers from the industry, so it's a really great way to connect with professionals.
LIVE School of Art and Design is this amazing melting pot between hyper-local, what's happening on the ground here, and international. We have partnerships both with local people and local charities and communities and with major international partners all across the world. And we bring those worlds together so our students can navigate both as they exit into the working world.
If you were thinking about studying at Teesside University, I'd say definitely do it. It's been like one of the most life-changing things that I've personally done, and my favourite part about it has just been the variety of projects that we've done.
Creative industries is one of the fastest growing sectors in the United Kingdom, which makes it very exciting. And there's research that shows the likelihood that the jobs in that field are going to double by 2030.
I think my favourite thing about studying at the LIVE School of Art and Design is these lovely studios.
I would say my favourite thing about studying at this university is just having access to the facilities all the time and being able to be so hands-on with the work.
I think that everyone should have the opportunity to study a creative practice. What you're looking at is the way in which objects and things around us affect the way that we live, the way that we see and the way that we understand. So it's a real central point to how we understand how we are as humans.
Every creative student needs to be part of a creative community, and that experience here is underpinned by the NEMA Gallery. It's a meeting point, it's a place where you can learn, it's a place that connects all of our students and gives us a real focus and a hub.
So what's the campus like and what's the university like? So we're going a quick campus tour. You'll also hear about a ghost. I've not seen the ghost. So you'll be applying for the graphic design and illustration for level 6 for the year 3 from your HND, but then you could go on to master's courses, just as Sarah's done, visual communication, illustration, comics and graphic novels. We have images here of the studios, inside the studios, and Amy, when she talks to you, is actually sat inside one of our studios. She'll tell you more about that. So for your year studying in the UK, you will have an apply link that Noroff will supply. We can supply to them, and we've already supplied to Heidi. They give you an apply link. Once you've applied, you will then have access to the application portal. You will get an offer, conditional on you attaining your HND. As soon as you do that, you can apply for accommodation and book accommodation in university. And you can make free choice of that accommodation. There's different levels of accommodation. From our newest, the Cornell building next to the Athena building, where you'll be situated. Or you can look for private accommodation, and there's quite a lot of private accommodation at a good cheap price in Middlesbrough. Once you've been made an offer, you'll be asked to pay a deposit on your fees. You are now international students. Post-Brexit, you were before then, but post-Brexit, you're international students, and you'll have to go through the visa requirements. But that will all be quite clearly in the portal for you to be led through it. And we have our admission staff who help with that, and any problems you can get in touch with me as well. So post deposit, book accommodation, you can then pay the fees in one go, or you can pay them in installments, and that's all on the website as well, and I'm happy to discuss that with anybody later. Just in terms of our courses, in the UK, in the Guardian newspaper, Best Universities 2022, which is the current, design and crafts courses are ranked 13 in the UK out of 71. Complete University Guide, 85% for student satisfaction for art and design courses, and we are the best university for social inclusion in the Sunday Times Guide. Project-based, peer-to-peer, developing your skills and your learning within the facilities. You'll be joining a large cohort of international students that are from all over the world, and the campus is very, very international, with Indian, Chinese, Southeast Asia, African students, as well as Norwegians and Europeans. And just to finish off before I go to Amy, video of what our international students think about university. So my email's there, and I'll send it through to you later. Just see if I can. Okay, and over to Amy. To tell you more about the course.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Just before we let you on, Amy, I saw some of the videos, or all of the videos in the presentation were a little bit laggy, and I think it's due to they were in the presentation. So, but the videos can be found on YouTube, and we will distribute the links to you guys at the end of this. Okay? Amy, off you go.
Hi everybody, I hope everybody's well. I'm sad I'm not over in Norway this year. I like coming over, I get fed loads of chocolate when I come. It's always a really nice visit. Love Norwegian chocolate, it's amazing. Cool, I have a presentation to share with you guys. So I'm just going to get this lined up. Hopefully it'll work. Can I just check that everybody can see that? Can you? Perfect. I am not going to play our videos just in case they lag, but I will share it afterwards if you want to have a little look. There's some kind of videos on here anyway. Yeah, so my name's Amy Dover. I am Senior Lecturer on Graphic Design and Illustration. I'm also course leader of our Masters in Visual Communication. I'm also a freelance illustrator as well, and I'm also, as Rob mentioned, I'm also a PhD student too. So I can tell you all about that if you'd like me to, but I'll get to that in the end. Let's see if my slides actually work here. There we go. Yeah, so as Rob mentioned, we're part of NEMA School of Art and Design, which is a really creative school within Teesside University. It's a really kind of exciting time to join as well. There's so much happening. So you have that kind of opportunity to be part of what's classed as sort of an old kind of art school where you have loads and loads of creative students doing really exciting things. It's also part of an international art gallery too, and there's all sorts of events happening and get-togethers that are just for our art and design students, which are really wonderful. There's kind of parties, and we get amazing visiting lecturers from all over the world and exhibitions happening. But you're also part of a big university, and you'll see before some information about the kind of Students' Union, which is really award-winning. So we have a graphic design society, there's comic clubs, there's lots of sports societies, and all sorts of different things to get involved with, which are really brilliant when you're a student as well. Not just the kind of academic side, but there's all sorts of different things going on that can also kind of enhance your kind of career prospects, or just have a really nice time when you come over as well. One thing I would say as well is where the university is situated. We're kind of in the middle of the UK, so lots of students really love coming to study with us, as you can kind of get a train really quickly to lots and lots of different places. So you're on the edge of Yorkshire, you're not far from Leeds, Newcastle, you can pop up to Scotland, pop to London. England's quite small, so you can kind of bob about and explore a bit as well in your holiday times as well if you don't come back to Norway. And it's a really kind of great place to have an experience of what it's like kind of living in the UK and the opportunities there as well. Some students come over and they just want to do the year, some come over and they want to stay for the Masters, and some come over and they make a career here as well, or they go elsewhere in the world. And it's really good for kind of broadening your horizons too, not just the course, but I'll get into the course of what we do too. So graphic design and illustration covers lots and lots of different specialisms. So we're very open to you exploring what comes under that balloon and finding what it is that you want to do. All of the lecturers work already in the industry, and we have for years, and we're aware that the design industry has changed very quickly, and what's defined under that balloon changes all the time. But these are the kind of specialisms that we look at, which is graphic design, so print and digital, advertising, branding, illustration, image making, interaction, motion, typography. So there's a lot of things that come under that, and we're very up for students that want to explore lots of different things within that too, and be kind of future thinking and innovative. So you'll be coming to level 6, which is our 3rd year, which is looking at the skills that you already have and then kind of pushing the boundaries of what that is and being really creative. So that covers design process, entrepreneurial, project management, portfolio, self-promotion, self-initiated projects, live projects and competitions. So the first module that you'll go into when you come and join us would be live projects and competitions, where we actively encourage you to do projects for real clients or enter big international competitions or ones that are just for our students as well. So straight away you work on real life briefs, and we're really successful at winning competitions as well, and some of the competitions are pretty much a golden ticket to a really successful career as well. But I'll show a little bit more about that in a little bit. But you are leading the projects you want to do. You have a lot of autonomy of the kind of things you want to do as well. And one of the reasons students tend to come to us from Noroff is they like that idea to kind of have creative freedom and not be restricted by specific briefs. So modules are based in industry facing, so they are centered around stuff that you would be doing in the real world, but we really love to push concepts. You will also be doing projects which helps build up your own portfolio and your own branding as well, so you are kind of ready for the workplace as well. So we have kind of a dual thing going on in third year, where we really like to push the boundaries of what graphic design and illustration is, but we also need to know that it needs to be grounded in industry and you are heading towards where you want to go in your career as well. So yeah, creative thinking, we're really big on it. We're really big at pushing what the realms of this discipline is really, and kind of questioning things. It's really, really important, and that's a big reason a lot of people come to us, is that we really want to kind of push the boundaries a little bit, and kind of challenge ways of thinking. So we've got kind of experimental drawing machines here, we've got kind of projection mapping, we've got kind of trips out to go and do drawing, we've got golf courses that students have made, we've got I think this is a paper plane flying competition as well. This is some projects that are collaborative with fashion as well, exploring kind of digital graphics and projection onto clothing, and these are some machines that Charlie has built as well, which explore kind of experimental processes and linking with digital technology as well. And Rob showed a bit about the facilities. We do have really amazing facilities, and we're really keen on students not just doing digital work. You can, and if that's your practice, it's absolutely fine, but we love to see bookbinding. We have fabric printing, we have amazing print studios, we have 2 of them. We have the room that I'm in at the moment is our experimental studio, so in here we have our own laser cutter, which is just for the graphic design students. We have a risograph, which is behind me, which is, best way to describe it is like a photocopying, screen printing Japanese machine that has neon ink, so you can see some of it in the top right there, and it does really interesting processes, and it's open use for our students to use as well, which is really, really fun, and we love you to kind of experiment and get messy. We have the 3D studios as well, where you can do everything from 3D printing, further laser cutting. The technicians are brilliant in there as well. You can do woodwork, all sorts of different things as well, so really kind of explore different processes. Yeah, we have 2 print rooms. This is the fine art print room, which is down in Parkside, where you can do pretty much anything your heart desires. Janice is absolutely incredible. She is a fine art printmaker, and she's brilliant at getting you to kind of understand ideas. So you can do screen printing, etching, dry point. I can't remember all the different processes, but there's many down there, and it's really brilliant. It's really good to get messy as well down there. Yeah, so these are some of the processes. We've got cyanotype. Over in fashion, they've got digital embroidery, which is absolutely fantastic as well. You can do all sorts of things with that if you're interested in doing kind of graphics for clothing or garments. It's really interesting to explore. We've get lots of visiting speakers in as well, so sometimes that involves workshops. In the middle there you can see Juan doing a gift making workshop that we did, and we had a visiting speaker in who makes kind of filters, and the big companies like Adidas and Nike and huge companies for social media, so we did a digital workshop with that. We've also got more laser cutting, fabric printing. And this is the room that I'm in at the moment. Yeah, this is the experimental studio. So this is rarely booked for any teaching, and it's pretty much open use, and you can get really messy in here as well. You can see there's a pasta maker there if you want to kind of put printmaking through that. There's kind of bookbinding equipment. This is the riso, you can see in the main picture as well. Really messy, really fun. This is, well, she is from Noroff, the student that's in this picture, but she's actually American. She's exploring some experimental projection and playing with graphics there and different ways of kind of typeface and type making through kind of projection mapping and using our old projectors as well. We have a dedicated Mac suite as well, just for our course. So this whole floor is just for graphic design and illustration. Always has the latest up-to-date Apple software. We are an Adobe creative campus as well. So we work with Adobe and have really wonderful opportunities there too. But yeah, that's just for our students. It's really, really good, and it's always up to date and really high tech, which is brilliant for all your digital needs. We get wonderful guest lecturers in as well. These are just some of them. We have kind of regular guest lecturers in. Normally we go on trips as well, but obviously COVID's a little bit of a halt to that at the moment. We are planning a trip at the moment to some design studios in Newcastle, which is really brilliant. But yeah, we get lots of different visiting speakers from all different areas as well of graphic design and illustration, so you're exposed to lots of different people and the way they work. It's also really good for networking, so we don't like the speakers just to come in, do a talk and then disappear. We like them to speak to the students, so you guys have the opportunity to network and get kind of really interesting questions answered, and maybe even show your work to them if you're feeling brave. This is Alex who comes in, so it's not just, so the slide before showed you kind of creative directors of big agencies, but we also get kind of independent makers in. Alex is really interesting because she is a ceramicist, an illustrator. She runs her own business, prints t-shirts, does all sorts of different things. And then we have Jimmy, who is a really interesting creative. I don't know how to describe his practice anymore because it evolves so much, but he does music videos, he does illustration, he does installations, graphic design, all sorts of different things. He's a really great speaker to get in as well. He's absolutely hilarious. But yeah, we get a whole host of visiting speakers in, which is really great for inspiration for you guys too. And when you finish your degree too, you get to celebrate with your own show as well. So we have the degree show where you get to celebrate your work and you get to install it and show it off to everybody, and we invite people in to see that work as well. But we don't just like to put a few pictures on the wall, as you can see from the images here. We like to really kind of show off and do really interesting installations too. We also normally, depending on COVID, go down to D&AD. So D&AD, if you're not aware, is a really big graphic design art direction organization who, it's not just for students, it's also for people that work in industry too. So you can go and you can show off your work down at D&AD, and you can get potential clients. There's an award ceremony, you can enter competitions, and it's really, really good opportunity as well. But obviously that's depending on pandemic and the craziness that's happening at the moment. Yeah, so as I mentioned before, that we do a lot of competitions and our students win a lot of awards. So you've got ISTD there, which is the big typographic award. Some of our students have won that quite a few times. We do very well on that. D&AD, YCN, the big competitions, and it does seem a little bit scary, but it's so important to enter these things and go for it. You can see Ben in the middle there, who's doing so well. His first job was the graphic designer for Depop, and he's moved on to a few things now, and he's become so reputable. There's loads of articles if you read design blogs and magazines, like It's Nice that they're always doing articles on him. He's doing so well, and it really helped that he entered that competition. Yeah, you can see some of the other winners that we've had as well. We've won quite a lot of competitions, so we're really up for kind of pushing you as well. These are some of the other competitions. So this is the Penguin Puffin Book Cover Award. So this one, if you win, you get to go and do a placement of one of the biggest publishers in the world, which is really incredible. There's also live briefs that are just for our students. So this is Emma, who did the graphics installed in our new halls of residence, which is a really lovely project. And then we're really big on creative conscience as well, which is a design award to do good in the world. So the course, we really care about design for good. So doing those projects that make a difference in the world, be that environmental or social causes. And this is Tina. So Tina is a Norwegian student who joined us, and she did this amazing graphic novel on what it's like to be an introvert. It was a really beautiful project, and it was commended by Creative Conscience. It was very good. This is Tina. So we've got Tina and Tina. Tina is an Icelandic student who did this really lovely project about taking care. Just really lovely graphics, because she was more of an illustrator and this is a bit more graphic-y for her, and she's done really well. I love the choice of typography on it too. This is Kelly. So Kelly's project, which is EpiPen, so Epic Pen, about using the EpiPen. She, again, got an award for this, which is really brilliant. This is Elsie, who was just an incredible student. This is a project which was to raise awareness about the Amazon and the troubles that the animals were facing there. She wrote a children's book for it. Elsie's gone on to do really well. We keep hiring her back to come and do work for us as well. And this is just a great example of how you can kind of use all the opportunities of the technology that we have here as well, and the different workshops. So this was a project about the cycles of the moon, but we've got laser cutting, we've got risograph, we've got blind embossing, we've got UV inks as well. So if you want to get really experimental, you could. This is a really lovely project, which was called Share the Weight, about mental health and about how you need support from other people. And it made it into the local news, onto TV. It did really, really well. And she carried this giant brain around Hartlepool and Middlesbrough as this campaign. And this also won a Creative Conscience Award. So destinations. So our students go on to do lots and lots of different things. So end up being art directors of big companies. It depends where you want to go. So you might want to see yourself as freelance. You might want to see yourself as an art director. There might be lots of different where's you want to go, and we're here to help you with the direction you want to go in. So you can see some of the work that she's done here. Sorry, I'm a bit conscious that my videos might lag, so I'm just skipping through them in case they don't work. This is Sam. Sam, when he was a student, he decided that he wanted to go and live in New York. That was his goal, and he did it. And he's now art director at an advertising agency over in New York as well. He did really, really well. So it just shows kind of, if you've got these ambitious goals, we're here to help you. And we really, really love ambitious, creative students that have things that they're really kind of excited to do as well. And we also have the Masters as well. So if you feel like staying with us for another year, you're very welcome to join the Masters, and I can answer more questions on that if you do have any as well. So that would be an extra year or two, depending on the route that you take, which is just that kind of next level up. And some students feel like they need that extra year or want to challenge themselves a little bit more. But you can ask more questions about the Masters too if you want to at any point. Just get in touch with me. So yeah, all the staff that teach on the course work in industry, have worked in industry, have years of experience, and really interesting kind of different directions in industry. So this is Marcus. Marcus has even had books published about him that you can get internationally, which is really wonderful. He's working on some really interesting projects at the moment for folk festivals, and is also doing a PhD. He's very creative, as you can probably see from his work. This is recent work that he did for a motion festival in Amsterdam. Marcus and Michael as well. So Michael is our course leader, do some really brilliant projects with the NHS. These are live projects they've done to have a huge impact on things like organ donation, or how people use various kind of, well, this is the Nebi grip here. So this is a project on getting kids to use the Nebi grip. It's really great when staff are working on live projects as well, because you hear as they're going along what staff are doing, and there's often opportunities to get involved as well, and it's really good to see live projects as they're happening. We've got Charlie as well. So Charlie, I'd say it's a bit more digital, a bit more experimental, but this project was, he did all the graphic design, installation and design for an exhibition about World War I, which was incredible. You can see how unusual his design is for the exhibition. It was really brilliant. And this is a project which is about Shakespeare, which was an algorithmic project about people tweeting about Shakespeare too. This is me as well. So I am a commercial illustrator. So I do projects for all sorts of different companies all over the world. And I really love bringing in the projects I'm working on to show people as they go along. I've just done a really big brief for the Scottish Government, where my illustrations were on TV and billboards and all sorts of stuff, which is really exciting. I'm also a practicing fine artist, so I'm doing a PhD at the moment in fine art, art history and environmental sciences, looking at how animals are depicted and how that affects conservation as well. So if you have any questions about that, I can tell you about it. But I am soon to be going to do an artist residency in Panama in the jungle, which is slightly terrifying. And I've got a few exhibitions coming up. I'm also doing a really big project with Natural England as well. So lots of things happening there. So it's really great that you can kind of get involved with what we're doing and we can share that. But I am going to end this now. And there's loads more information on the website as well. If you want to kind of hear anything about the course and what each of the modules do. But I'm going to pass over to Sarah now. So Sarah was studying with us in third year last year. She came from Noroff. She's now on our master's as well and is a really brilliant student. So it'd be really great if I can pass over to Sarah now. Thank you.
So Sarah, what was it like being a student and why did you come to Teesside and what was your experience?
Well, I've had different experience with COVID and everything, but it's been really nice. I did decide to do a master's, so I must have enjoyed myself. But yeah, it's very different from Noroff to study at Teesside because they challenge you more to be creative in a different way than Noroff does. Because in Noroff, you have to be creative within kind of a box. You have these guidelines that you have to follow. But in Teesside, they challenge them a bit more and make you do a bit more like stuff that you would never imagine doing, like writing on bananas or doing like a bit more weird stuff, I would say. So that's the major difference.
Do you think that helped push you further in where you wanted to go?
Yeah, definitely. It's opened my horizons a lot more on being creative, I feel like.
And not only opened your eyes, but expanded your sense of the world around you and the creative industries, graphic design. Has it helped there?
Yeah, yeah. And just have people to come in and talk from the industry and see how they do, and to kind of see that it's not as scary as you think, and that everyone is a bit unsure about what they're doing and stuff really helped too, I think.
How about support from tutors? I mean, Amy's there, so you don't have to say nice things, but yeah, how were the tutors and how was the academic support?
Yeah, the tutors have been amazing. As I mentioned, COVID was like on peak when I was studying, but we still had sessions with the tutors, and if there's anything we were wondering about, they were always like on call or on email to contact. So it's been really nice, yeah.
Is it nice? I mean, you've just returned, but we are back on campus full time. All the facilities are open. You'll be quite glad of that now, and you can book into anything you want to use. I mean, I'm watching the video saying, "Oh, I'd like to use some UV dyes. I want to do some of that." And you know, Amy knows I have a practice as well. I'm an exhibiting artist. So Sarah, are you looking forward to now you're doing your MA? Now it's all open, exploring some of those workshops.
Yeah, definitely. I used the room that Amy's sitting in a lot for some of my projects, and used the printer and everything. So that was very fun, and yeah.
So what if someone was thinking about going to Teesside and they looked at the videos and what we said and thought, oh, that looks interesting. What would be the one thing you'd tell them in advice before they came? You know, what would be the one thing, say, you must either do this or remember this or prepare this beforehand?
Bring a lot of Norwegian chocolate. I think that's the only advice I have.
And it was funny that with an Indian student, his advice was don't bring lots of warm clothes. Buy them here and get advice from the Norwegian students.
It's a thing that comes back time and time again with all our students going abroad. Norwegian chocolate kind of becoming a currency of its own every time you you get restocked. I have some questions from students along the way that have texted in as well. Some of them are a little bit related to admissions and to the visa process and things like that. So I'll relay them now and ask them, and maybe we could set up another talk with a student admissions officer or something like that for them to dive into discussions with.
I mean, I could probably answer most of.
Okay, brilliant. Because the first one is obviously there's not that many students that are over with you now studying due to COVID, but I know there's plenty lined up, both from graphic design, but also from our 3D design disciplines. What's the application process like? So some of them are starting to think, and there's some interviews. There's not that anymore. There used to be a portfolio. No. So talk a little bit about the admission process and the what they do with their applications.
So the official requirements are that they pass their HND at Noroff. Now, if they've passed their HND at Noroff, then they've passed their admissions requirements. But what we like to do is, because we like them to meet our wonderful team like Amy and Marcus or whoever, one of our members of staff, we'll set up a meeting so they can have a chat with them, so they can show their work, so that Amy or Marcus can see what they've done, so that they can give them feedback on the work and prepare them for coming. So it's not an interview as such, it's just to kind of chat about the work, because in terms of our articulation agreement, if they pass the course at Noroff, they can progress, okay? So we won't, it's not an interview where, it's just a chat. We'll set up a chat with them. And I think you did them last year in a morning or something. And Amy or Marcus will just look at the work and we'll chat to them about what it's like being a student. It's more like this kind of informal thing. The entry criteria is that they gain their HND. So when they apply, if students apply now, they will, on the application, they'll say they're studying at Noroff, and they'll be given a conditional offer, which means that they can go through the admissions process based on passing their HND when you get the qualifications. So they can then, going through the deposit process and going through the visa process. And then when they have their pass confirmed in May, June, they will then be given what we call a CAS, which is a confirmation of study, and with that confirmation of study, they can then get a student visa, and then they can then come and study.
Yeah, is there so they're the guys that are the people that are going to apply for the visa as well? Do you guys offer any assistance or any anything from your admissions office to help guide them in their visa process?
They will go through the application portal, which is almost like a flow chart. So they'll have access to that portal. They'll be given an offer letter, and then they'll have access to the portal, which will then say the next stage is you need to pay a deposit, or you need to do this. You need to have this mandatory questionnaire. So it'll go through each step, and our admissions team will help them through it. Okay. So they'll be sent emails that says, welcome, you've been offered a place. The next thing you need to do is this, and here's a link to accommodation. And then they'll be sent emails step by step through the whole process. Any problems, they get in touch with me. I will be meeting with our international admissions team on a weekly basis. So any problems, I will. I mean, apologies, Sarah. You did have a problem. We dealt with it immediately. It was okay, and we sorted it out. So yeah, anything like that, I will deal with. Any problems, and I've just sent an email to yourself and Heidi, just saying students can get in touch with me directly if they've got any questions.
Okay, thank you. Then we'll share. The presentation, everything there is streamed and it's recorded, so all the students can go in and look at it again. The videos will provide links for them, and we'll provide the contact information to you as well, Robert, if students need to get in touch.
Yeah, we also have a PDF I'm going to send you, which guides students through the whole process as well. So it says, choosing university, what to do at each stage, and just for your students, that they will go for the apply link, and then once they've got the confirmation letter, they'll go off through all the other stages. So I'll send that to you as well, and you can share that with your students.
Fantastic, thank you. We are out of time for today. We might invite you guys to do a second talk as well, and go a little bit more in depth on the disciplines and on the programs that's offered. That being said, thank you very much for joining today, all the students as well. Thank you very much for joining. Hopefully we'll get to meet face to face and in person next time we see each other.
Thank you, and it's great to meet you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye. Dere andre som ser på, da går vi til en liten pause før Deacon kommer inn hel, og så plukker vi opp derfra. Ha det. Hei og velkommen til Internasjonal dag hos Noroff. Ideelt sett så skulle vi hatt denne fysisk med et besøk rundt på hver eneste campus. Det får vi dessverre ikke anledning til nå på grunn av pandemien. Se hva vi får til litt lenger ut i semesteret, men i dag så blir det et digitalt besøk fra Deakin. Med oss underveis så har vi et lite panel på siden her som kan ta imot spørsmål. Så vi har en e-post som alle kan sende til underveis hvis de ønsker, og den skal komme opp i grafikken her. Vi har også en studentrepresentant som sitter og tar imot spørsmål. Han heter Niklas Frogner. Og han kan dere nå på Teams. Alle studenter har en Teams-konto, bare å søke opp Niklas Frogner. Samtidig så er det live-chat her på YouTube. Der er det litt grann delay, men vi plukker opp det som kommer underveis og samler opp spørsmålene helt på slutten. Det blir en presentasjon nå fra Deakin, og så samler vi alle spørsmålene helt til slutten, og så varer dette i cirka 3 kvarter. Da bytter jeg til engelsk og ønsker velkommen. Helle, welcome. Yeah, you have a presentation prepared.
I have prepared a presentation, that's correct.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can share my screen with you. Hang on.
Yeah, that's fine.
Or not. This is always interesting. Does it work? Doesn't it work? How do you... Yes. Let's see if... Are you able to see my slide?
We are. So blow it up to full screen and then we can see all of it.
Yeah, super.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. I will start my presentation by introducing myself. My name is Helle Strandlust, which is, as you can probably tell, very Danish sounding, and I am Danish. But I am the international manager for Deakin University in Melbourne, Australia. I'm very excited to be here today and doing this presentation for you. It's my first time to meet Noroff students this year, hopefully on campus and on site in real life. Let's cross our fingers that that's going to be possible. I'm also very excited because Australia has finally reopened their borders, so we can welcome international students back on campus. After 2 years, this is something we have really looked forward to. And actually, we have 2 former Noroff students starting in March this year. They're both going to study Bachelor of Film, Television and Animation. So this is great. Yes, today I'm going to give you a short presentation about our University Deakin and about the pathways Noroff students have for earning a bachelor degree from Deakin University after completing 2 years at Noroff. But first of all, Deakin University is a large university, is one of the top 5 universities in Australia. And it's located in Melbourne, in the state of Victoria, which is the southernmost state in Australia. We have 4 campuses, or I should say we have 5 campuses. We have 4 physical campuses, and the largest one is in Melbourne. It has more than 30,000 students. And then we have 2 campuses in Geelong, which is a city on the coast, just outside Melbourne, less than an hour's drive away. And our 4th campus is in Warrnambool, a little bit further along the coast. And you may have heard this coast is very famous for its rock formations. It's called the Great Ocean Road. It's very beautiful, lovely beaches as well. When you arrive in Australia, I think one of the first things you will notice is the warmth of the Australian people. It's a very friendly and safe place both to live and study, and it has a fairly high standard of living. Great career opportunities, which I'll get back to later as well. And it's especially Melbourne is known for being the sporting capital of the world. It's a multicultural city because a lot of people living in Australia originate from across the world, really. Melbourne is a large city as well. It's the second largest in Australia. Sydney is the largest, and they're very close in size, actually. But Melbourne has a little less than 5 million people, so about the same population size as Norway. I would say that Melbourne, as compared to Sydney, has a more homely feel. Sydney is a business city. Melbourne is also a business city with 5 million people. Of course it has. But because it's also not just the sporting capital of the world, but it's the art capital of Australia, and that really shows. I hope you are seeing pictures of koalas and kangaroos. Just checking that my slideshow is still working.
Yeah.
Good. Excellent.
But if you can you know, blow up the presentation so it covers the whole screen.
I can do that.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Like this.
Yes, thank you. Perfect.
Good. Thank you. Well, as I said, Melbourne is a large city, multicultural. It has a rich Indigenous history, and for Noroff students who are looking to spend a year in Melbourne or in Australia, this is something that you can also dive into. There's a lot of things to see and do. I mentioned already the Great Ocean Road and surf beaches, but there are also rainforest, there are mountains where you can ski in winter if you miss being in Norway. The flora and the fauna are very unique to Australia. You will find that the soil is not brown and dirt black, it's red. So that's very exotic for us Europeans. But of course also the wildlife. You can, if you're lucky, spot both koalas and kangaroos in the wild, snakes as well. And as I said before, Melbourne is the art capital of Australia. So there are a lot of opportunities and a lot of things to explore and experience in Melbourne. Let's see if I missed out on any. I'm just checking my notes. It looks okay. Okay, so Deakin, why study at Deakin? Well, we have this excellent agreement between Noroff and Deakin, which I find is really amazing. You do 2 years at Noroff and you top it with 1 year at Deakin, and then you earn a bachelor's degree. But we are also, even if we are fairly young university, we're not yet 50 years. I think we were established in the mid-70s. We're still able to rank fairly high on different parameters. So we are in the top 1% of all universities worldwide. And considering our age, I think that's quite an accomplishment in itself. We're in the top 50 of young universities. We have also been rated the best public university for overall education experience and for student satisfaction for a number of years. And this shows that we are really great at what we're doing, not just the research, but also teaching, of course, and providing an excellent student experience for all. As I mentioned, we have 5 campuses. The 5th is our Clark campus, so it's online entirely. It was established about 20 years ago, and when the pandemic hit, that was an advantage for us because we were able to continue offering our study options for our international students, even if they weren't able to travel to Australia and study on campus. But we do have, as I said, 4 physical campuses, and the largest one is Melbourne, with more than 30,000 students. And this is where most of our international students end up as well. So I'm going to focus on that when I talk about our campus. It also has excellent facilities, and I'll come back to that afterwards or a bit later. Just a few images from our Melbourne campus. As you can see, it's very spacious, it's green, it has eucalyptus trees, there's a creek or river running through it. It has a really friendly vibe, and just a really nice place to be. It's in a suburb called Burwood. It's about, I'd say, 20 minutes by bus, train or tram from the city centre of Melbourne. So that's a really nice place to be. I have prepared a YouTube video for you to see that will show how our students experience this campus. So if you could put that on now, that would be great. Thank you.
Okay, we will. That's the welcome tour video of the campus.
Welcome to Deacon's Burwood campus. You've made it. My name's Meg. I'm an arts law student, and it is my pleasure to be your guide for a quick and handy tour of your new academic home away from home. What I love about the Burwood campus is the energy and sense of community. So when you're not engaging with online learning, you'll find yourself here amongst 26,000 students and 1,500 staff. The one spot you are guaranteed to find all of us is the library. It's cleverly placed smack bang in the middle of campus with 3 levels of unending possibility. Study sessions are made easy with bookable spaces for both group study and quiet solo focus, and there's plenty of staff, including library liaisons, to help you locate the resources you need. If you have a question about enrolment or finance, or want to pick up your student card, Student Central is your one-stop shop. You'll find this very valuable and universal resource dotted around campus. As a Deakin student, you also have access to Deakin's Health and Wellbeing Centre, prayer and multi-faith rooms, parents' rooms, the Disability Resource Centre, and of course the Deakin Active Fitness Centre. Recently refurbished, here you'll find state-of-the-art cardio and strength machinery and a varied collection of traditional group fitness classes. There are also footy ovals near the beautiful Gardeners Creek and 2 full-size basketball courts. Another invaluable resource is DUSA, the Deakin University Student Association. DUSA is run by students for students, and it opens up a world of clubs, societies and social events. It even gives you a chance to flex your leadership muscles. At Burwood, we're lucky enough to have our very own art gallery. Inside these walls, you'll find a quiet space to reflect and reset as you immerse yourself in contemporary art. Of course, our artwork isn't just kept inside. Deakin has around 2,300 pieces across our campuses, which means it's almost impossible to turn a corner without seeing a painting, print, sculpture, even an art tram. Running through the centre of campus is the Gardeners Creek Parklands, which offer beautiful bike and walking tracks and a chance to disconnect from study and reconnect with nature. Bliss. Burwood campus also celebrates great food culture. Everything from vegan to halal to gluten-free food is on offer, right alongside the all-important single origin fair trade coffee. There are heaps of options to get to the Burwood campus, including regular trams, trains and buses, as well as parking spaces available on site. But before leaving home for campus, always be sure to drop by deakin.edu.au for any changes or updates to campus access. And that's it. We're so excited to welcome you into our Deakin Burwood community in 2021. Whether it's online or on campus, we cannot wait to see you.
Okay, that was the end of the video.
Okay. I hope you enjoyed seeing our campus. I know that Meg mentioned our facilities, and I'd like to talk a little bit about those. that are available to our students. So we have motion capture lab, which is used by industry like filmmakers and advertising companies. We also have sound studio, editing suites, green screen studio, and we have a professional commercial TV studio as well. This is also used by industry. The fact that industry utilize our facilities also means that there are great opportunities for students to become involved, maybe even get an internship with the companies that are there. And I'll talk a little bit more about internship opportunities later on. Let's have a look at the pathways from Noroff into Deakin University. So what you need to bear in mind is that you need to complete 2 years full study at Noroff before you can apply for a bachelor top-up at Deakin. And these are the 3 pathways that you'll find: Bachelor of Design, the 3D animation, Bachelor of Film, Television Animation, and then the Bachelor of Design, Visual Communication. So for each of these bachelors, there are various pathways that you can combine: graphic design 1 and 2, or 3D game design 1 and 2, or 3D design, animation, and game design. It really depends on what your background is and what you're looking to do afterwards at Deakin. So let's have a look at the Bachelor of Film, TV, and Animation. As you can see, there are 6. Let me just say that Deakin uses the term units. In Europe, we usually use the term courses. So bear with me if I don't remember to say units, or if I do say courses but mean units, because this can be a little bit confusing. But the Bachelor of Film, TV, and Animation has one starting date each year, and that's in March. These are the courses, these are the units that you will be required to undertake at Deakin in order to obtain your bachelor's degree. You can see that there are 3 core options, and basically these are what would term electives, but within those 3 electives must be chosen from the units listed below the table. So 6 units in total. 1 unit at Deakin equals 7.5 ECTS. So by taking these 6 units, you will have 45 ECTS. ECTS is the European system that we use, and a full year in Europe is usually 60 ECTS, according to the Bologna Agreement. I have a little video prepared for you. It's called The Third Reel. It's a student project that I'd like to show for you now. I hope that works as well.
Okay, that was a show reel from the students' work.
Excellent, thank you for that. I hope this gave you an idea of what students' work can look like and what you can expect when you get to Deakin. Next up is the Bachelor of Design Visual Communication, or as we call it, WISCOM. This has actually 2 beginning dates, so you can either choose to start in March or you can choose to start in July. Either way, these are the units that you will be required to take, and as you can see here, there are 4 electives listed, and we have for this course a broader choice of units that you can choose from. So you can start in what is for us trimester 1, which is March, or in trimester 2, which is July. If you start in trimester 1, you will be required to take individual design portfolio and design to change the world as the first topics. But if you start in trimester 2, you will be required to start with collaborative design project. And this is actually 2 credits, so that's like a double. So you will have, even if it lists as 7 units, you will still get 60 ECTS for this. This is just an example of what some of our previous Norwegian grads have, some of the projects they have done with us. Just an example for you to have a look at. Next up is Bachelor of Design 3D Animation. Again, you have the option of starting in either March or in July. But you don't have any electives in this course. You have 7 defined courses, and one of them is for 2 credits, which is 15 ECTS. Sorry, I need to learn math. 7.5 plus 7.5 equals 15. Yes. So again, it will be 60 ECTS for completing this year. And again, if you choose to start in trimester 1, you will be taking these 4 units listed here. But if you start in trimester 2, you will be starting with professional practice in design, design strategies, and collaborative design project. Some of these units you will find were also listed for the WISCOM that we saw just before. I have, I think my next slide, yes, I have another student project I wanted to share with you, Design Showcase, it's called.
Okay, thank you for the video.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that one as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you. The question we get a lot from Noroff students is, what is the difference between studying at a vocational school like Noroff and a university like Deakin? And is it very different, and is it very hard? And I'm gonna say it's not too hard. Deakin, of course, there's going to be a lot of theory and a lot of reading to be done. It's research-based teachings, but Deakin is a very hands-on university and very practical-oriented, both in the teachings and whatever you will be asked to do. That is the approach: hands-on and practical-oriented. But of course, you will be asked to reflect and dig deep. Theory and practice will be combined. As a general example, you will have about 12 contact hours plus 7 hours of study per week. There will be assignments, there will be assessments, and this is just an example that I put up here to give you an idea of what you can be expecting. I just want to point out that we have on offer for all students at Deakin, domestic as well as international. There's an academic support team that all students are invited to make use of, and it can be from anything, maybe wanting a grammar check on an assignment, or finding out how to structure an essay. But really, I would say hands-on, practical-oriented teaching, and the available academic support for all students. Excuse me. So yes, there's a difference. Of course, there will be, but I would say that all the students that we have had so far from Noroff have enjoyed studying at Deakin. So. And once you get to Deakin, you also need a place to stay, of course. And you have two options, either on or off campus, and both has pros and not many cons, I would say. We can help you find accommodation both on and off campus, and the accommodation that you will be able to find through us off campus have all been vetted by us, so you're not running any risk in signing up for that. Some of the pros for living on campus is that we have a 24/7 support staff available, but what really attracts students is that you have the instant social network when you're on campus, because you're living with other students. You're also close to all our social or cultural and sport activities that we offer. We have more than 120 different clubs that students may join, maybe not all 120 at a time, but whatever has your interest and hobby, be it sport or cultural activities, there's something on offer for everyone. And it is on campus, so that's an advantage if you live on campus. You're close to the library, of course, computer labs and classes, and maybe you can sleep in a bit longer in the morning as well. One of the cons could be that it's a bit more expensive living on campus than off campus, but another pro is that you only pay one fee and then covers rent, electricity, internet, etc. Not food, of course, that comes on top. I have my last video prepared, and this is an accommodation tour from Burwood campus, if you would like to show that. Thank you.
Hey guys, my name's Matt. I'm studying a double degree of arts law here at Deakin, and today I'm going to show you where I live. So welcome to Res. This is Deakin's Melbourne Burwood campus accommodation. It's a place I've been lucky enough to call home for the last 18 months or so. Let's go check out reception. So the first space I'm going to show you is the reception area. It's a beautiful space and it's very well designed. It's staffed 24/7, so if you have any issues day or night, you can come down and see one of our friendly staff members. You've also got their number on your key card, so you can call them anytime. You can come and borrow sports equipment, or you can come pick up your mail. Thank you. This is our new basketball court. It's right outside of Res, and it's fantastic to have a full court just next to my house so I can play with 100 different people. Got this beautiful seating area with comfy seats out here next to MC, and they've even got PowerPoints so you can sit out here and study when you need to. So this is where I live. This is called the Ville. One of my favourite things to do is sit out here on this picnic table and eat breakfast every morning. And just on the other side there we have Gardeners Creek, where there's an abundance of dogs and walkers and a great running track. The reason I love living in the village is I'm a very outgoing person and I get to live with 9 housemates there, so every time I want to hang out with someone I just head out into the lounge room and there's a bunch of people there, but if I need some quiet time I can just head into my room and chill. Right here we have the pretty standard village room. As you can see, you've got tons of space. We've got heaps of space for clothes in the cupboards. You also get a desk and heaps of space for all of your books. This is a standard village kitchen. You've got your fridge, microwave, heaps of storage space for all your pots and pans and food, and behind me is tons of space for you to hang out with your housemates. Now I'm going to take you guys through our newest accommodation precinct on Res. Here we've got our 2, 4 and 6 share buildings. Let's go. You know that you and your belongings will be super safe on Res because you need a key card to get into every building, and we've got security patrolling 24/7. So up here we've got one of our other common spaces on Res. There's a few private study rooms with some nice couches. You can come and hang out with your friends here. And here we've got the main common space. We've got a big TV, you can sit around, watch the footy, whatever. We've got a huge kitchen area, you can come and make a big meal with your friends. We've got a pool table, table tennis, a huge laundry, everything. So this is one of our other shared apartment options. This is the 5 share. So just like down in the village, you get your own private bedroom and then you get kitchen and the lounge room area as shared spaces. You get all the benefits of shared living. So you get to interact with people from all different cultures, backgrounds, make a meal with them, whatever. You even get air conditioning too. This is one of the sweet common areas we have here on Res. It honestly feels like the penthouse suite of a fancy apartment in the city or something. And it's got some pretty incredible views. It's really cool that we have it right here on Res. But one of the things you get a fantastic view from up here is Gardeners Creek, which is what I mentioned earlier. There's beautiful walking tracks, great dog park, it's fantastic. If you're after something a bit more private, then the studio space would probably be perfect for you. It's got a desk, a king single bed, a kitchenette for one, a private bathroom, got everything that one person could need for an apartment. This is one of our other shared apartment options. This is the 6 share. Here we've got the common room and the dining table. You can hang out with people, sit around on the couches, watch the TV, and in here we've got the kitchen. Heaps of space for cooking and heaps of storage for all of your food and pots and pans. This is one of our other common areas on Res. We've got heaps of couches sitting around. We've got a bunch of tables and kitchens so you can come down and have a big meal with your friends. We've got table tennis, we've got pool tables, and we've even got our own cinema. How good is this? So that's it. I hope you enjoyed my tour of Res and we hope to see you here sometime soon.
Okay, well if that didn't tempt anyone, I don't know. Thank you for that one.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
I would say that off campus is, of course, just as good as being on campus. There's going to be transportation involved that you won't have as much on campus. But there are other pros to living off campus, like you will get to know the locals and integrate into Australian culture, not just other students. This is not for other students, this is for just, I should say, because of course it's great to be with other students as well. You would typically live between campus and the city centre. And we have a HouseMe database that will help you find whatever suits you best. A little less for rent, but then of course you need to add expenses for transportation, electricity, internet, and what have you. but also will help you regardless of whether you want to stay on or off campus and what is available at the time that you arrive. So, and this is just to give you a general overview of what you can expect for cost of living. And prices really vary and depend a lot on your own spending habits. So you can certainly live for less if you're savvy. And you can also spend more if you like shopping and dining out every night. I would say dining out is considerably cheaper than in both Denmark and Norway. And generally, cost of living is also less expensive than in Scandinavia. But there are, of course, ways for you to help yourself out financially. And I'm not going to go into what you can get from Lånekassen because this is a Noroff expertise and I know not enough to actually talk about that. But what I can talk about is scholarships available for international students. They are based on academic performance. So in order to be eligible to apply, you need to meet a certain average requirement. For the 25%, it's a 65% average. For the 100%, it's 85% average. And that's just to apply. Once you applied, to be eligible to apply. And then, of course, it's based on competition and who else is applying at that time. But if you, I know that one of the Noroff students who's starting now has been offered a 25%. So you may also be able to get that. It really depends on you, not just yourself, of course, but especially yourself, but also who's applying at the same time. And also, you have the opportunity of having work integrated learning in terms of an internship with companies. We have a lot of companies on campus that offer internship opportunities to our students. And these internships can be as short as 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, but they can last the whole trimester. Sometimes even longer, but that depends on the company and the student and what their needs are. And these are some of the companies who are present on campus. You'll notice that they are news and sports companies, NGOs. Lots of other companies are present as well. And Melbourne, as I said, is a large city, so there are so many opportunities, both for internships, but also for a student job after hours. International students are allowed to work 20 hours a week during school weeks and 40 hours a week during holidays. So there's that to take into consideration as well for financing your stay in Australia. Let us just have a look at our dates. These are for 2022. So Deakin operates a trimester system, and we already looked at trimester 1 and trimester 2. They start in March and July, and then we had trimester 3, which is over the summer period in Australia. So there are lesser options available, fewer units are taught. And this is why for the 3 pathways that we looked at before, all the units were listed as either in trimester 1 and trimester 2. So if you choose the option of starting in trimester 2, which is July, and that doesn't give you any time to enjoy the European summer, but that gives you from November to February, where you don't have any units. You don't have to be on campus, but you can travel or you can work, and then finish off in trimester 1. So that's something to consider, because we highly encourage you to explore Victoria, but also the rest of Australia, of course. Just to keep in mind what is required in order to apply to Deakin for a bachelor degree. You have to have successfully completed your 2-year diploma at Noroff, and you have to have a 4 in English from high school. And this cannot be older than 5 years. So if you're applying in 2022, 2017 is the latest we can accept. If you don't have a 4, or if your high school diploma is older, we offer our students a free English test. That just keep in mind there's a 10-hour time difference at the time. So it will either be early morning or in the evening. But you're also, if you don't already have a 4, or if your high school diploma is older, you can also sit some of the more general proficiency tests like IELTS or TOEFL or Cambridge. There are several that we allow. So, and I think this is more almost my last slide, but just to point out why study abroad, why is that a good idea? You will undergo a transformation while you're abroad. You will come to depend on yourself in ways that you haven't before. You will develop intercultural skills. You will learn to manage adversity. Your communication skills will improve. Your English skills will improve. And a lot of employers are looking for candidates who have and possess intercultural competencies. And I think I'm on to almost my last slide. This is my second last slide. Just to let you know that you can follow us on Instagram. This is our website. And here's my email address, and you're welcome to contact me at any time with questions, or if you have something you think of after tomorrow or later the week, or even further down the road, don't hesitate to contact. I'm happy to help however I can. And as I said, I'm based in Copenhagen, so meeting for a chat on Zoom or Teams is easy peasy. There aren't any time differences here. Yes. I think I'll be happy to answer your questions now if there are any.
Thank you. Thank you, Helle. There's a few questions that have come in, and one of them is, not surprisingly, is campus open for international students now with the COVID situation?
Yes, campus is open for fully vaccinated students. And you have to prove, well, you can't really enter. We saw that with under the Australia Open tennis tournament. You can't enter Australia if you haven't your vaccinations up to date, or really do have medical exemptions.
Okay.
Having caught corona is not a medical exemption, but you need to be fully vaccinated, and you need to have, yes, proof of that in order to enter the country, but also in order to be on campus. So,
exactly, yeah. So it's, yeah. Okay. The other question I had was, how long is the application process?
Oh, it depends, really. It depends. We have been, once you, if you are looking to apply now, you can do that, but you won't have your final diploma. So what we can then offer you is a conditional offer, but you will need your final diploma, and you will need English proficiency proof. And once you have that, it's a matter of days, I say.
Okay. I was just also made aware here that you're continuing to share your screen. So if you exit out, then the people viewing can see you and not just me. Thank you.
Is it?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right. So the visa application, I guess that's going to be the biggest hurdle for some. What's the process there, and is there anyone your side able to help the students through the process?
We're not allowed. No, unfortunately, we're not. Well, I don't know if it's unfortunate. We're not allowed to offer any guidance or help, because it's a matter of we cannot be held responsible for students getting a visa or not. So we can point students in a direction, but that's all we can do, I'm afraid.
Sure. Is there, and then there's an application office, or maybe you directly, that will be able to answer some questions and at least point them in the right direction when it comes to... Okay, good. How long is the visa process? Would it be expected to take?
Well, for students, it really depends on nationality, where have you lived before, a lot of things. But so I applied, but as a tourist, on Monday at 10 in the morning, and I'd say on Monday at 10:15 I had my visa. So sometimes it's fast. But for students, it can take longer because there are other things that you need to consider, obviously. Yeah.
Okay, good. And before just we wrap up, we're a little bit over time. There are some students that might want to talk to some of the academics or dive a little bit deeper down into
we can set that up as well.
Exactly, into the subject.
No
so it's once this is done and we're a little bit closer or a little bit further into spring, our side, if we could set up an individual session with yourself and some of your colleagues to come and talk to our students.
They would be happy to do that. Yes, absolutely.
Fantastic.
And let's wait until we have summertime in Europe, because then there's only 8 hours time difference. So that'll make it a little bit easier.
That helps. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was it. There might be coming in some additional questions from the students, but we'll collect them and send them over to you once done.
That's fine.
Okay. Yes. Thank you so much for coming, and all the students as well. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to swap to Norwegian now, Helle. So
okay.
Thank you so much.
Fint. Takk. Hei.
Hei. Resten av dere studenter, tusen takk for at dere så på. Har dere ytterligere spørsmål, så bruk den e-posten dere fikk oppgitt til å stille spørsmålene tidligere i dag. Og til hver økt så skal vi forsøke å samle det sammen og få partnerskolene til å svare opp. Fullt mulig vi gjør noen lignende arrangementer som dette igjen litt lenger ut i vårsemesteret. Og har dere ønsker eller tips eller noe sånt dere ønsker å komme med, så fyr løs. Tusen hjertelig takk for at dere så på. Ha en flott dag videre. Ha det bra.